Urson's going to play in the third period.
Ian, what are you looking to see from some of the bigger guys and some of maybe the prospects in this game tonight?
Well, I'm looking to see everybody, I'll be honest with you, but there's a couple guys that I know that come to me, I don't want to name names because, they're in their head, they want to make the big team, but I got my eyes on a couple of the kids there that there's a really good chance that they come to me. But it'd be nice to see Noah Cates play again, Jackson too, and TK and JVR. I know what they are, but it's good for them to get into preseason games before the real season start.
Adam Brooks is a guy who spent most of last year in the NHL.
Yeah.
How familiar you are you with it, and what are your impressions?
Very impressed with his conditioning in camp. I can't wait to see him in in a real game. Scrimmages are scrimmages. They're buddies playing against buddies, but tonight he'll play, and I'll be keeping an eye on him for sure. And it was tough this summer. I tried to look at his games from his games in Winnipeg. He didn't play too much. He didn't play too many minutes, so I'll have a better idea of what kind of player he is in the next couple of preseason games. And so far, he came in great shape. He's a hell of a skater. His conditioning is through the roof. And at the end of the day, they say control what you can control, and that's what he did this summer. He trained like an animal, and he wants to show that he belongs at the NHL level, and I hope he does.
You obviously saw a lot of Isaac Ratcliffe last
Yep.
year. How close do you think he is to being an NHL player?
I think Rat's going to understand, and I talked to him about that he's got to play like he played here. The 10 games that he played was a force physically, finishing checks, making the right play in those red zones. And it's easy to do for 10 games, 5 games, 6 games, but you have to do it every night, every practice, and it's all up to him. He proved to everybody that he can do it. And the click or that moment that he's going to become an NHL player, it's when it's in his DNA that he's doing those plays every night. And he's a big man with good hands. You just need to use his size every time he's out there.
Did he improve a lot in the
Oh,
second half last year?
For sure he did. And we forget that he missed most of the year before, with injuries, and it's easy to say, oh, he's not developing like we're expecting. Well, you miss a full year. Same with Frosty. You miss a full year, it hurts your development, especially at that age. But he put the work. I talked about that before. Last year when we had a little bit of heart-to-heart at the beginning of the year, and he told me, I'll be the hardest working guy for you in practice. And that's where it starts. And he was. I'll give him credit. He talked the talk, but he walked the walk. And that's part of maturing, and he did last year, and I feel like he did the work this summer too. And it's tough to see. Again, I go back to those scrimmages. They're great, but again, they're friends against friends. Tonight, hopefully he'll have a big game, a big men game, and that's his ticket to play in the NHL. He won't be a low skill player like Fabry and all those guys are. He's going to be a big man, and he needs to play a big man's game.
How much of it with Ratcliffe, you kind of talked to him a little bit about this today, was him accepting that he wasn't going to be the high skill guy that he was in juniors?
He's not the first one. He's not the last one. I had to go through. I know it's a long time ago. You weren't born. You probably weren't born. But this, you get to this level. Everybody were good at one point. You don't get to the NHL training camp because you were a plumber somewhere. A plumber meaning a fourth liner. No disrespect to the plumbers out there, but it's more like you come here because you did something right in junior or college. So you have to find a chair that's going to keep you. It's going to help you make it to the NHL, and it's going to keep you in the NHL as long as you can. And for him, it's not scoring 50 goals like he did in junior, and I told him that before. People told him that, but as long as he doesn't realize it himself, and there's nothing we can do. We can talk to him all day, but it's got to come from within. And it's not easy. Trust me, it's not easy. You used to score those nice goals in junior because you play against kids, but you come to this level, you're playing against men. So you need to find your men's game, and I feel like for him, I'm not talking about fighting, but I'm talking about being physical on the forecheck with good stick. He's 6'6". He's a big man. He's got a long reach. Use it. And he needs to be strong on his feet. And I felt like at the end of the year last year, he was that man that everybody was hoping that he was going in that direction.
Isaac and Zach play very different games, but we were talking to Isaac a little bit about looking at Zach and kind of what he can take away from him from a physicality standpoint. What do you think, just by playing together, going through these camps together, they can learn from each other?
Well, he does play a big men's game, Zach does. Like, he's a big guy that obviously he's tougher than Rat, and, he'll fight when he's called on, but he plays a Nord game, chip it in behind their D, go on the forecheck, and you're right. Rat should take a page out of his book, and he was a good junior player too. That's a perfect example on this team. He was a good junior player, put numbers up, and now you realize that at this level you need to do something that the guy next to you is not willing to do. What is it? Well, be physical every night. Fight when it's time to do it. And it's not fun, but pays the bills, and you play in the NHL on nice jets instead of driving the bus for 5 hours to Providence. You know what I mean? It's worth it. That's my point.
Carter Hart was held out of his scrimmage on Sunday with a lower body injury. It seemed like it was out of abundance for caution. Was it good to see him out there in the practices today?
That's above my pay grade with Carter, but I was happy to see him out there. And happy to see him with a smile on his face. So that's all I can say about that.
After Saturday's game, when we talked to Morgan Frost, and Frosty was saying that, apart from the assists that he had, it meant a lot to him to be out there killing penalties, out there in the final minute of the game when you're protecting a 1-goal lead and getting a chance to kind of redeem himself too for that icing when he took the shot.
Well, I get my, some people it's changed. When I played, you never go for it. Now the coaches are, whatever. But I know what you're going with that. I'm a big believer in Morgan Frost. I think he can be more than just what people like offensively. Like, he did put numbers in junior, and when he was with us, he was a point a game. That's nice, but I feel like he's got more to. Like, I really do believe. Like, for me, when he played for me last year, I had him kill penalties because I feel like smart offensive players, they read what the other guy is thinking on the other side. The guy with the puck on the power play, they have that read. He's got a great stick. And he did that in the first period. He cut that pass, going from the half wall to the point. I just wish he'd put it 200 feet instead of making that next play. But that comes with experience and comes with maturity. And I'm a big believer that, when he battles on face-off, he was 60%. He was our best. So I put him out there just to win that face-off too. And as a player, you just want to get rewarded when you do the right thing. And I really do feel that Morgan he's more than just an offensive player.
This may be above your pay grade too.
Huh?
Any update on Joe Couturier, like when he can start skating again? Or?
That's above my pay grade. You know that, Sam. You know that. I feel for the man. I'll be honest with you. I love Coots, and he put the work in, and that's all I can say. Above my pay grade. I can send Chuck in the crew if you want me after this.
Flyers announced yesterday that Cal O'Reilly will be coming on.
Yeah.
Most likely to get ready for Phantoms camp and that kind of thing.
And Wilson. Garrett Wilson's here too.
So, my question is, what is it the guys can learn here from experienced pros like those guys, even though they're here for a little bit getting ready?
Well, my young guys are going to learn from them. Like, I looked at them today. It was a hard practice. We had small numbers, and they didn't look out of shape. They put the work in. And I love those two guys. I said that in Lehigh last year, and they're pros. And for our young kids at Desnoyers, this world coming down to us, I should say, there's no better role model than those two guys. They're both great dads. Garrett just got a little baby, Ty Wilson, a couple of days ago. I'm happy for him. And they're just great human beings, and they're pros. And more the better for our young guys to come down and see what they do, how they go about their business every day. And I love both of those guys. And I was pushing for them to be here for at least the rest of the week, just for them to be part of what I'm going to try to do down there.
Cal's had an unbelievable AHL career.
He's a Hall of Famer.
What is it that has prevented him from being a regular in the NHL?
Well, he did play like 300 in some games. It's not like he never played. Like, he played, I don't know. I really don't know. I know at our level he's one of the best players in the league. He's 35 now, but he did play his fair share. Like 300 games, like, there's not too many people who can say they play over 300 games in the NHL, and he's one of them. I don't know. I'd love to answer that, Sam, but I know that he was a big part of, we got back in that playoff push last year, and it was a big part because he didn't deviate from what I was trying to do. And, you know, when you have a veteran that's pushing in your direction, that's what you need. At the end of the day, like, there's so much our staff can do, and same way, doesn't matter which league, you need those right veterans in the right spot to push with you, not push against you. And him and Garrett were unbelievable all year, even with the bad start we had last year.
If there were injuries, can you see him being called up?
I don't think contract-wise he can. He's got an AHL contract. Same with Garrett Wilson. That's probably why they didn't want to come to the Tortorella skating test. At 35, I don't blame them. I wouldn't want to come here either. I just watched. I was dying.
Changing gears for a minute. Tanner Lazinski, he's obviously getting another tonight. What have you seen from him so far, both in like practice?
I don't think he's playing tonight.
He's not in the
No,
lineup?
Laz not playing.
Oh,
But
okay.
I can talk about Laz all
Yeah,
day
yeah.
if you want.
Yeah, please.
Last year was tough with injuries and everything, but he was in Lehigh all summer training. He came here most of the summer too to train. He's a pro. Like I'm talking about Kyle O'Reilly and Garrett Wilson, those two being pros. Obviously, Laz is younger, but he's got the right head. He's his head's screwed right. He's gonna play in this league for a long time. I really believe that because he plays a heavy game. He plays. There's no cheat in his game, and he's nothing flashy, but winning teams need guys like that do the little thing right, and he's heavy on the puck, and he's making the right plays, and I can't say enough good things about him.
He's had some bad injury luck over the years. However, his confidence doesn't seem to be shaken.
No.
Why do you feel like he has such a strong head on his shoulders?
I don't know. I think probably mom and dad did a pretty good job, when he grew up. It's just like, to go through that much adversity in the past 2 years. Some kids, you're right, some kids would be down on themselves like, why me, why me? He never had that why me attitude. He just kept working and kept believing in himself, and that's the big thing. You got to believe in yourself, and you can put Wade Allison in there, Morgan Frost in there, like Ratcliffe in there. Those guys all went through tough injuries in the last couple of years, but they never give up on the dream, and that's why they are where they are right now. And